Breaking news, Canon leaks new details about the Canon R6 Mark III. And Canon is the first company to add security to their cameras. They're adding the ability to have PIN codes on some of their cameras. Finally, some real security. I'll tell you all about it. Fuji leaked the X-E5 and a new Fuji lens, and we have Fuji moving production for a whole bunch of their cameras into Japan, probably to avoid all the Chinese tariffs. Important information about the upcoming OM5 Mark II has been leaked, and Instagram made an important change that all photographers should know about. I'll tell you all about it. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is where I host my own websites because they make my work look great. They help attract new customers. I can take orders from clients or send pictures to clients, whether it's a photography portfolio or video reel or any type of business or even personal project. Start at squarespace.com/Tony. They'll help you get your own custom domain name, like I have northrupphotography.com. You can get your own domain name and sound pro. So your email address isn't gmail.com anymore. Don't even worry about the technical parts of getting it set up. They make it very easy and they have support to help if you do run into any problems. But the best part, when you try it out, it's completely free. No credit card required. Go to squarespace.com/Tony. After you try it out, after you love it, the coupon code Tony will save you 10%. Thank you, Squarespace. Now let's get into Canon's upcoming security update. This is coming from nofilmschool.com, but they say upcoming firmware updates to the Canon cameras will incorporate the option to have a PIN code. So you have to enter the PIN code to get into the camera. This basic feature is something I've been asking for a long time because theft is a huge problem in the camera industry, because cameras are so easy to steal and sell. If you could lock your cameras with a PIN code just like you do your smartphone, that would make it unsellable because nobody would buy it if they couldn't open it up. Canon's really not doing this of their own free will. You see, the European Union passed the 2024 Cyber Resiliency Act. They don't want cyber attacks to take down important parts of the infrastructure, so they're passing laws to help make sure that new gear that's created is protected against cyber attacks coming across networks. Specifically, we're interested in the Radio Equipment Directive. Here's what they have to say about it. Devices capable of communicating over the internet, either directly themselves or through another device like a smartphone, so that describes pretty much all modern cameras with a Wi-Fi app, must incorporate safeguards to ensure that the personal data and privacy of the user and of the subscriber are protected, and supports certain features ensuring protection from fraud. Now, I have a background in IT security and even a CISSP certification, and modern cameras do connect to the internet, either directly or indirectly, and they often contain a lot of personal information. Imagine a professional photographer who shoots a boudoir shoot, or a fashion photographer shooting the upcoming fashion that hasn't been released yet, or even me recording videos about cameras that are under embargo. If any of that information could be leaked, the person who stole it could sell it and make some money on it, or they could use it to blackmail the owner. And that's exactly what the EU is trying to avoid. So Canon seems to be interpreting this law as applying to them, and they seem to be imagining that a PIN code will address it, but no film school is saying it's going to be applied to these video-centric cinema cameras in Canon's lineup. I'm not sure why they're interpreting the law as only applying to cinema cameras, and I'm not sure why this doesn't apply to every manufacturer who must be scrambling. This law goes into effect August 1st, so if anybody is going to do anything, we should see it really soon. If you're a photographer, you're probably on Instagram. And most of us have been shooting in a 4x5, 8x10 aspect ratio because that is the optimal size for Instagram. That vertical aspect ratio is where your pictures are going to be the biggest. And if you shoot square or horizontal, they're going to look up small and not look nearly as good. But with a full frame camera or even one of these cameras, that meant significant cropping. Even with smartphones, that meant significant cropping. So Instagram is finally adopting the default aspect ratio of smartphones, Micro Four Thirds, the medium format Fuji GFX, and the medium format Hasselblad as one of the options. Now that's useful. That means you can shoot one of those cameras and know that you don't need to crop off the top and bottom of your vertical image. And even if you're a full frame shooter, you'll still have to crop a little bit. It still does not support the full 2x3 aspect ratio. But the good news for full frame shooters is you won't have to crop as much. So if you do take pictures that you want to publish on Instagram, factor in less of a crop, and that can actually be a pretty big adjustment. The OM5 Mark II leaked. So as you might recall, OM is the company that took over Olympus's camera division, and they've been making very minor incremental changes. 4/3 Rumors is saying that the OM5 Mark II is going to use the same sensor as the OM1 Mark II. It's a stacked sensor, so it's very fast. That makes it capable of shooting action that pretty much eliminates rolling shutter. We found it to be a good sensor. Now, the real bummer here is it's still just 20 megapixels. Panasonic has Micro Four Thirds cameras with more resolution. Olympus OM really needs it, especially with their focus on wildlife photography. More megapixels was the biggest thing holding them back that we found in our comprehensive testing of different manufacturers' camera bodies and lenses for wildlife. That comes as a little bit of a disappointment, but we did kind of warn you. When OM took over Olympus, we didn't think we'd see a lot of development. And in fact, they seem to still be using these same sensors that Olympus integrated into their cameras and just sort of pushing them down through the lines and changing small cosmetic things. Speaking of new cameras, Fuji is teasing the new X-E5. You can see it just in an outline here. The only real new thing that we can see about it is they seem to have an updated film simulation dial. That's not something I personally use, but some people are excited about that. I am excited for the X-E5. It's a less expensive, beautiful, fun camera, and that's really what Fuji specializes in, and that's what so many people really want nowadays. They should also be announcing a 23mm f2.8. So in full frame turns, that's about a 35mm f4 lens. It should be very small, very compact. So think of a pancake walking around lens, sort of the perfect companion to that new X-E5. That all comes to us from FujiRumors.com. We've also seen some new camera serial numbers from Fuji. These are existing models that have JP added to the end of that. Now, all of the cameras in this list were manufactured in China up until now. It seems like Fuji is moving some of this manufacturing into Japan. They'll probably still do the bulk of their manufacturing in China. I imagine they will ship the Chinese cameras to the rest of the world except for the US, but because there are varying levels of tariffs on China, 30% right now, though that could change at any minute. It makes sense to move manufacturing out of China if you plan to import it into the US so that you can skip that 30% tariff. And that seems to be exactly what Fuji is doing. So thank you, Fuji, for helping to keep prices down. Now, I'm sure prices will still go up some, because manufacturing in Japan is more expensive than manufacturing in China. But Fuji happens to know how to manufacture in both places, so why not move some of the manufacturing to their facilities in Japan? And finally, Canon has leaked more information about the R6 Mark III. This comes to us via Canon Rumors. We don't have a lot of information for you, but word is the R6 Mark III is going to have more megapixels. Right now it sits at 24 megapixels, which is fine for most things, but Sony upgraded the A7 series from 24 to 33 megapixels. Canon's doing something similar. So I bet we'll see 32, 33, 34 megapixels out of the R6 Mark III. And with the upgraded processor, I'm sure they'll be able to give you scaled down 4K 60 frames per second, just like the current models do, except with more information, more detail, and overall better quality. In the comments, let me know what you think, which of those cameras you might be interested in. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Squarespace. Start at squarespace.com/Tony to set up the website of your dreams. Get your own custom domain, get help from experts, sell products, take appointments from clients. Whatever you can imagine starts at squarespace.com/Tony. There you get a completely free trial, so you can check it out and make sure that it's right for you. And if you love it, only if you love it, the coupon code Tony will save you 10% off. Thanks, Squarespace. Bye.